everyone, welcome back. I'm really excited for today's video. I'm sitting down and I'm just gonna be sharing with you guys some of my thoughts, my takeaways from the Good and the Beautiful's convention this year. If you guys are new to my channel, my name's Jamie, welcome. I have an 18-month-old, a 4-year-old, an almost 6-year-old, and an almost 7-year-old. And so I have a lot of little kids right now, and we homeschool. I use the Good and the Beautiful's curriculum almost exclusively, and I love it. So I got the opportunity to go out to Utah about 2 weeks ago and go to the convention that they had there, and it was incredible, you guys. It was way too short is really what it was. I feel like I learned so much. I finally got to hug friends of mine from YouTube that I've never seen in person, and it was amazing. Is literally my battery's gonna die, you guys. All right, hold on, let's swap this out before. Okay, there we go, we're back in action. Let me see if I can. We don't pretend like we know what we're doing over here, okay? I've been doing YouTube for like 6 years and I still don't pretend like I know what I'm doing. So anyways, the convention itself was amazing. The trip was amazing. And to give you guys a little bit of an idea of kind of where I was coming from, my husband and I had 4 kids in 5 years. So it's been like super busy, crazy, intense in our house. We've got a lot of little kids and I haven't taken a trip by myself. Well, I got married when I was 19, so that tells me like I've never actually traveled anywhere by myself, like just alone, without my husband, without anybody. The only times I have gone somewhere, I brought Jude with me, and it was like a very short trip, and I had a baby with me, which kind of still, I don't know, at least for me, it gave me a little bit of security. I had a child with me, so I was still taking care of someone, and I wasn't just totally independent. So this trip, I was totally independent. I flew by myself. I was very nervous about it. I was nervous about how Ingrid was gonna do. She did amazing, by the way. And I was really nervous, but it was an incredible experience. Like, I got to sleep through the night without anybody waking me up. I got to like go to Starbucks with my friend 2 days in a row. That never happens. I got to sit under the teaching of some amazing homeschool moms. You guys, the wisdom and just the life that these women give off is incredible. So it was just overall an incredible, amazing experience. And for me, coming out of never traveling before and then being able to hang out with other moms and friends of mine was awesome. I got to spend some time with Angie from This Gathered Nest. And Angie, I watched Angela's channel. I don't know, if you guys have been following me for a long time, I featured Angela on my channel. It was like one of the first featured Friday videos I did. I used to do these videos where on Fridays I would feature a channel, and I featured Angela's channel. Man, it was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. It was when we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. And she was a new YouTuber. I found her videos and I fell in love with her. And I couldn't believe that more people hadn't found her channel. And of course, now if you watch This Gathered Nest, they have a huge YouTube channel. They're amazing and they're huge. But back then, Angela just did her own, I think her channel was called like Angela Braniff or Angela B or something like that. So they didn't vlog at that point. So I've known Angela, or known about her for 5 years, I think, around 4 or 5 years. And so I finally got to meet her, which was amazing. She is someone that I'm like, you inspire me. Like, she's just so incredible. She's doing all the things. She's got 7 babies at home and they're getting ready to adopt another one. They homeschool, and I'm just like, can you adopt me? You're amazing, like be my mom, okay? She's so awesome and just so much wisdom. So I got to see her and hug her and spend some time with her, and I felt like I was just asking so many questions because I was just trying to like glean all of the wisdom that I could, because she is just incredible. And then I also got to spend time with Ashley and Serena. I'm gonna link everybody's channels down below. But I had never met Serena or talked with her before the convention. And Angela had told me she is an amazing videographer. All of, like, I get so many homeschooling ideas from her, so I was so excited to meet her. And immediately when I met her, I felt like we had been friends forever. Like, she just has this energy and charisma about her. She feels like home. She feels like your old friend that you've known forever that you could tell all the things to. She has such a good heart. I now am binge watching her videos on her channel, and I'm amazed by her videos and just her artistic capabilities. Like, she's amazing. So she spoke at the convention.
To ask yourself, what is the biggest thing that keeps you from being true to an authentic you and having an authentic homeschool? What is it that you are tempted to compare or compete in unhealthy ways? And how can you turn them around and use them as tools to grow?
Sure. Authenticity in your homeschool was what she spoke on, and she did such a good job. It was very encouraging and empowering. She just spoke on being confident in who you are and what you do well with your kids. I took so many notes, you guys. Let me show you. So they offered these books for us at the convention, which was so nice. I brought like little journals because I knew I was gonna want to take notes, but they were already on it. So this is all the notes I took from her session. Some of the things that I took away from her message were to create your authentic homeschool, you need to know who you are and you need to know what you enjoy. It starts with where you are and not where you want to be. And that was huge for me because I had to really look at what are my things that I bring to the table, my daughter. What do I do well? What am I passionate about? She used an example of her personal homeschool. Hey, what are you doing? Mom life never stops. I have my cousin here, she's helping me with the kids, and of course Ingrid just saw me and now she's screaming because she knows I'm up here filming. Anyways, she used examples of things that she used to criticize her about in her homeschool routine and the choices that she made for her kids. She is so mad that I'm up here filming now. She used examples of that, and she talked about how she actually decided to embrace her style and embrace what she was good at instead of trying to fight against it and be what everybody else was. So that was super, super encouraging to me. And like I said, I took so many notes, and now that I'm going through it again, I think I'm gonna just sit down tonight with a glass of wine and I'm going to just go to town on these notes and just really meditate on them because they were super good. And then the last friend that I got to meet in person was Ashley. Ashley is amazing, you guys. I watched Ashley's channel, Grace and Grit, for the last, I think 2 years, maybe almost 2 years. But I found Ashley's channel, and I found her channel because I was looking up homeschool videos. I had started homeschooling Fiona. So I started watching Ashley's channel, and I just fell in love with her. I felt like she was like my sister from another mister. I just connected with her, and she encourages me and inspires me with her health and wellness. She's got an amazing testimony of not only weight loss, but just learning to take care of herself again after having 4 kids. Her kids are almost like the exact same amount of spacing as my kids are, and she has girl, boy, boy, girl. So it's like the same layout as me and everything, which is super crazy. But I got to finally meet her in person, and actually when Angela and I first got there and we saw Serena and Ashley, and I saw them, I'm probably gonna start crying right now, but we went over to where they were at, and as soon as I saw them, I just like immediately, I was like, have you guys prayed? Like, you guys are getting ready to go on stage and you're gonna speak to these women, like, have you prayed? They were like, yeah, we've prayed, but I think you could just see it in my eyes because Ashley was like, do you want to pray for us? And I was like, yes, I do. So literally within like 30 seconds of meeting Serena and then like getting to see Ashley in person, like we just got to pray together. And as these women, that are brought together by this weird thing called YouTube. We just got to lock arms and come before our Father, and we got to just ask him to just move through these women and to be a light to all of the moms and women that were there. It was beautiful, and it was something that I felt so humbled and honored to be a part of. And it just goes to show you that, I mean, like when I saw them, when Angie saw them, like it was like we were seeing our friends that we hadn't seen in a long time. It wasn't like we had never met in person before. It was like seeing your sisters. And so it was just it was so much of a blessing. Ashley's first talk was caring for your whole self as a homeschooling mom.
Because to homeschool our children is a tremendous work. So we need to have a healthy body to be able to do the work of homeschooling. So through the course of years, I realized some things that I've put into place as kind of what you guys are going to hear me refer to as non-negotiable things.
She talked about what self-care looks like, and what making sure your spiritual tank is full, what that looks like, making sure your mental, your health, all of those things that go into self-care. It's not just about going and getting a pedicure. It is about making sure that you are a whole person that can then pour out into your children. So like I said for Serena's, I took so many notes on there. It was so good. Ashley then spoke the next morning on overcoming self-doubt and fear, and you can tell that was like my biggest one. I took like all the notes. I didn't even have space. I filled it all up in here.
Self-doubt, and leading up to coming here, truly, you guys, I was just thinking like, oh my gosh, I was just a mess. And the cool part about that is that I knew that I was feeling self-doubt because of my own perceived inadequacies. But I knew that God wanted me to be here. And I knew that I had to have faith and take the step and put myself up here in front of all of you and share, not because I'm brilliant or have it all figured out, but because He wanted me to do that.
One thing that she talked about was how we can think that self-doubt is so negative, but really the bad part of self-doubt happens when our actions are then dictated by fear or doubt. So when we start to meditate on that self-doubt, that is when it's bad. When we humbly come before the Lord and we acknowledge that we can't do it alone without His strength, that's not bad. It's when we focus on that, and then it then dictates our actions and how we teach and how we take care of our children. That is when there's a problem. I also want to mention that Mikkel Monson, who I watched a lot of her videos on YouTube. She has a ton of informational videos like flip throughs, so much good stuff about the good and the beautiful. She had an amazing session.
Because I'm not gonna do that. I'll like be over here preparing my heart for this. So yes, after months of pleading with God to soften His heart, to open His heart, it was definitely a wrestle. It did happen. And He's like, all right. He's kind of like, this is where you want to go.
She was so funny, and it was exactly what we needed as women. It was so relatable, and it was just good. It was really good. Let me see what the topic that, I can't even remember what her specific topic was, because it was just so good. I took so much from it. Okay, so yes, gleaning purpose and joy, not frustration, with your children. She shared this story about her son Drew and him and his B's and D's and how he would get him mixed up. And the way that she told it and how hilarious she was and relatable, I was like, you are my sister. Like, can I be your best friend? Like, she was so funny, and just she got up there and she just talked about our need for Christ, our need for God, and just that we have to lean into Him and on Him because He is the reason for why we do what we do, and our purpose and our identity needs to come from Him, and we need to be seeking out the joy of the situations instead of constantly looking into the frustrations of them. So she did an amazing job as well. And then last but not least, Erica Armstead. I had never heard of Erica's channel before the convention, And when I was going through and I was looking at all the speakers, the first night there, I went on YouTube and I got a chance to listen to some of her videos and kind of get an idea of who she was. And her session was the most profound, thought-provoking, fire-lighting, just like beautiful sessions that I sat in. It was super, super good. Her topic was teaching heritage studies, incorporating diversity into your homeschool.
So we're going to flash back to October 2015. We're a military family. My husband's in the Army, I think he just hit 25 years on active duty in May. So we move a lot. And this particular time, in October 2015, we were stationed in Kansas. My granny who raised me in Alabama came here in Alabama. You know, it comes out every now and again. We've lived all over, so then people ask me, where are you from? Because depending on, you know, who I'm talking to, you know, you can pick up on different things.
She has biological children and she also has adopted children. And so she shared about her journey being an adoptive mother. She shared about her journey being an African American woman, and the different places that she's lived, different experiences that she's had. And it was just so, so good. Some of the things that I took from her are the things that you are wanting your children to have. You're wanting them to have a knowledge and an awareness and also a sensitivity to different ethnicities, and that there's a difference between being culturally aware and being culturally biased. That was something that I took. And am I raising my children to be culturally aware and sensitive to other people's stories, to their histories? And it was so eye-opening, and I love being under women like that just challenge me and just give me this wisdom and these eyes to things I don't know. And me being a Caucasian woman, like I've always, anybody that's known me has, like, I always want to learn. I always want to know because I know that I don't know. And so having someone come in, and she comes into this room, well, it's like full of all these white women. We're in Utah. It's not like super diverse. And she comes in with such grace and confidence and poise, and you could just feel the Holy Spirit working through her, and I could feel God smiling on her as she is just sharing the truth. And here I'm crying again. And it was so good. Like, I think that just her getting up and just speaking the truth and speaking it in love, but still speaking the truth, was beautiful. And I took so much from her. So I want to encourage you to go check out her channel. She said she's got lists of like really good books that you can incorporate in your homeschool room. She talked about just how do we as people that have grown up in a specific culture that has been biased or that hasn't been full in what it's taught about all of our history and about all of the different heritages that we have in the US and all over the world. She just talked about ways that you can implement that, ways that you can raise a generation that knows more and that is aware and is knowledgeable and is sensitive. And that to me was like, yes, sister, thank you. I need this. I need this. How do we break this barrier with our children? How do we not repeat the cycle? How do we raise children up in this next generation that are going to be world changers and that are not going to settle for racism, for hate? How do we do that? And so she is a wealth of knowledge. Like, she knows all the things. She's working on her doctorate right now. Like, she's amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and link obviously all of these women down below, because your life will be so much more full after you go and you see them and you subscribe to them. Lastly, I do want to also mention Jenny Phillips. Jenny, who is the founder of The Good and the Beautiful, has such a beautiful story. I got to go walk through the warehouse. I got to see like The Good and the Beautiful storefront. I got to meet other influencers when I was there, which was super amazing. But she shared a little bit of the story behind The Good and the Beautiful, behind its like birth and what it is now, how fast it's grown, and the way that she talks about her staff, the way that her staff talks about her, the beauty of the story of how it was started and how it has continued to just grow is incredible. And then being able to sit underneath Jenny's teachings.
He kept jumping out of the car to tackle some kind of wild animal or something he wanted to show us. And he didn't stop the car first. He just opened the door and out he went, and we just kept on going. A lot of screaming going on in the car.
She was saying that like just for their history and for all of these things, they've got these people from like tons of different religions and backgrounds, and she wants to make sure that it's right. She wants to make sure that it's full, that it's rich, that it is truthful, and that it's honoring of all ethnicities. It's honoring, and it's just true and good. And so seeing her as a person and as a mom and as a homeschooling mom and as a business owner, like I took so much from her. I just was in awe. I was in awe. I also got to meet Ashley from the Vanilla Tulip. Ashley has a blog and she's had it for a long time. And I started following Ashley's blog when I was pregnant with Fiona, I think. And Ashley is a homeschooling mom. I think she's pregnant with their 7th baby. And she shares on her blog life as a big family, what it looks like being a homeschooling family, meal ideas, budgeting stuff, all the things. And she was a pivotal person for me 6 years ago to decide to homeschool. And I saw her there, and it was like one of those moments where it's like full circle. And I was like, that's Ashley from the Vanilla Tulip. And Angie was like, what? And I'm like, she's the reason why I started homeschooling. Like, oh my gosh. And I kind of got a little like starstruck for a minute, and I didn't want to be weird, but it's crazy when you see someone, when here I am at this convention as an influencer, this homeschooling convention, and I see this woman that God specifically used to turn my heart towards homeschooling 6 years later. It was cool. It was very humbling, and I didn't get to talk to her much, which I was kind of sad about, because I really, like, of course I wanted to just like sit down and have coffee, because I felt like I knew her because of the impact she had on me. So that was really cool. I got to see Michelle Pearson. She doesn't homeschool, but she lives in Utah. She lives right in the area we were at. So I was like, I'm seeing you, girl. So Angie and I got to meet up with Michelle, and she always, like, she's so cute, you guys. Like, I saw her and I'm like, how do you always look like, she's got 5 kids, twins, you know, and she's just amazing. So I got to see Michelle and hug her and talk with her, and that was so nice. She is the real deal. If you don't follow Michelle, which I'm sure you do, Michelle Pearson, you missing out, because she is a gem of a person. And Michelle was the first YouTuber I ever watched on YouTube. Overall, you guys, the convention was a pivotal moment for me. It was a great experience. It was humbling and challenging, super rewarding. I just felt like the blessings from God in relationships, in learning and wisdom. I'm just speechless, and I'm sure you guys can see it on my face right now, but it was just beautiful. So I definitely want to encourage you, if you're thinking about going to the conference next year, I would do it, because it is amazing. I know that it sold out within a couple weeks this year, so be on the lookout next year. I think late winter, early spring time, and get your tickets. I definitely want to go next year for sure, and I can't say enough. It was super good. All of the staff from The Good and the Beautiful, Brooklyn, Clarissa, you guys are amazing. I want to say that those people that work for that company are special. They're very special. And you could feel it being in the convention. You could feel it meeting people, and it gives me hope for our world. It gives me hope for my babies as they get older, and I know that I have this curriculum that I'm using with my kids, and I just feel it's very good and it warms my heart a lot. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, this little recap. I hope that it was encouraging to you guys. I hope that you will go follow all these women that I shared and go check out The Good and the Beautiful, go check out their curriculum, as well as their conference, their convention next year once stuff starts coming out next year about it, because I know it's gonna be good, you guys, because this was real good. If you have any comments or questions or anything you'd like to share, please comment down below. I would love to connect with you. Thanks so much again for watching, you guys. I hope that you are all doing well and you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.